Welcome to Your Powerful Legacy TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Kristina Ping. She is CEO of Powerful Legacy Insurance and Financial Services. To our viewers at home, each week we talk to you about the importance of having a written, solid retirement plan for your retirement years, because without that, you're just going into the unknown with nothing on paper, nothing that you can follow. But you're probably asking yourself, all of this sounds great, but how do I get started? Where do I start? I'm going to talk to Kristina about that today. Again, thank you for being with us. Kristina, how are you, my beautiful friend?
Great to be here with you always, my dear soul sister. We just have a great show every single time, and I'm having so much fun with this series.
I am too.
It's
I love
great.
the financial wellness series because this is your brainchild. You and I talked on the phone when we were first, you said, I have an idea. I'm like, what is it? And when you told me what it was, I'm like, let's do it. It's so different. It's so unique. And it also just portrays so well to the viewers at home.
Yes, and you and I have been doing this for years.
Yes, almost 7.
It's been a hot minute. And when I think about our show and the way that things have progressed through the years, you and I have both also started focusing more on wellness than ever.
Absolutely.
And our health and treating wellness instead of illness. And I think that this is just a really good representation of who you and I are as well.
I think so too. And thank you for saying that. Yes, we are much more cognizant today than we were when we first started. Absolutely. Well, we don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but it'd be fun to go down that rabbit hole thinking back. But let's talk a little bit about how does someone start a retirement plan? It can feel so confusing and kind of like alphabet soup, if you will. So where does someone begin?
The first thing that most people will say is, what age do I want to retire? Do you want to? And what type of lifestyle do you envision? Do you want to travel? Do you want to spend more time with family? Do you have a hobby shop that you want to build out in your garage and enjoy some hot rods or something like that? Well, one of the things I do want to give you just a little bit of caution is I would love to help the want happen. What if you have to retire because you need to? What if you can't work anymore because you're physically not able, mentally, whatever it has been, or maybe your job has been eliminated? So knowing that you could retire if that was to happen, that's also a really good piece that we would want to talk about.
Most definitely. I love that because retirement is not about just getting by. You like to see your clients thrive and have fun. There's nothing better for you when you get to call them and say, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, guess what? I need you to go spend some money. Go have fun. What does that feel like when you get to say that to people?
Yes, I've had a few lately that I have some that are just uber conservative and I'm scared to spend money. I don't want to. And there's more than they would ever need.
Yes.
Even if there was to be a major issue, well then, and that's the reason why they have so much. Well, then I also have some that are saying, I have to spend more money and I don't want to, I have to.
Yes.
Have to. Have to and want to are two totally different things. And when we're talking about retirement, folks, knowing that difference, knowing what is the current financial situation and what could happen to you, that's going to be our very first step. You can't start a retirement plan if you don't know what you need in retirement.
Most definitely. And I should actually ask you as well, talk about the importance of evaluating cash flow and the importance of saving, because I know those two things really go hand in hand when you think about it. You have to save a little bit to spend a little bit later, correct?
Yes, and you do not want to fool yourselves, folks. Retirement is all about income, and it's after-tax income. You cannot even begin to calculate the income unless you calculate taxes inside of there. And most people have a tax bomb that's going to explode once you do retire. What does this look like for you? What are your liabilities? What are your assets? What are the savings, investments? What about your real estate? Are you going to stay living in the area where you live? Can you move somewhere less expensive? Do you want to move somewhere more expensive? And what is in your best interest? Sitting down, having a conversation about how that's all going to come together can sometimes feel a little daunting.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, people are obviously like, okay, how much do I really have to tell her? Even my Starbucks budget? Right? I mean, think about that a little bit. It's like, I don't know.
Or Amazon. That's the secret one out there.
So So, obviously, evaluating your cash flow, but what about understanding your tolerance for how much marketing you can handle as far as how much risk you can handle? Talk a little bit about that market risk.
Yes, market risk. Folks, if you were to say, I want to put market risk to a word, we use the words conservative, moderate, growth, and aggressive. So those 4 words. But I
Mm,
can sit down and ask 2 individuals side by side, and the word moderate is going to mean a different percentage or number. So this is very
it's true.
interesting. So you think about this, is a moderate somewhere around, I'm comfortable losing 20%? Or is someone going to say 10% or maybe 30? So I find the number completely different for each person. So we can't just use the word and say, oh yeah, we're going to put you in a moderate portfolio. No, the risk tolerance is just take it down, break it down to the basics. Out of $1,000, how much of that are you comfortable losing if you knew it would take you at least 5 years to get it back to even, and we're dispersing from the income at the same time? That's what risk tolerance really looks like. What are the nuts and bolts of this? And if you've not had that conversation, you've not really had a full financial market analysis.
It's true. It's very, very true. I'm thinking a lot of people, when they're coming in for the first time, Christina, you are asking questions that they've never been asked before.
Mhm.
Why is that? Why are you so curious about your clients?
Well, I've seen a couple of things that have been really yucky. I saw a statement come in the other day for this lady, and she's in her late 70s, and it said growth. And she's like, "Yeah, I'm good. They said that they just wanted my account to grow." And I said, "Oh no, madam. This is the next to highest risk word that we can have." And I gave her the 4 words. And her eyes got as big as saucers. I mean, she was scared.
I'm sure.
Seeing that fear in her, she's like, "What?" I said, "Let me run a report. I want to show you what could happen if the worst comes along." And I gave her some examples like 2000, 2001, 2009. What would this look like if we have a market correction or a reset? And it really upset her because the word does not necessarily mean what the percentage or the comfort level is.
Hmm. Thank goodness you pointed that out to her. That could have been devastating, Christine, if she
Yes.
would have gone somewhere else. I mean, she could have been in a terrible situation for retirement.
It could have been. And she's also in a unique situation where she has never had an email address. How
Oh,
difficult is
wow.
that to be able to electronically deliver information, which is the way most of us do these days? And she
Interesting.
doesn't even have a cell phone. She only has a home phone.
Oh, wow.
So she is our client. I adore her.
Sounds cute.
And Nancy, I know you're watching. She watches every show too. I
She
just love that.
does.
Yes.
Oh,
And says she learns something all the time. Okay, so in her late 70s and she's still learning as well.
yes, yes. Well, I learn something from you every day, every single day.
Oh, same, my friend.
Yay. So let's talk a little bit about how to estimate how much you need after tax dollars because you're so passionate about tax planning. Think about that a little bit. After tax dollars.
Well, the first thing is we have to calculate how much you need. Then how much is that going to calculate to taxes so that you can meet that need?
Mm.
So let's just say that you are going in and you're calculating from an old 401k to take a disbursement, and you know that your tax rate is going to be 12% federal and 4% state. Kentucky's 3.5 in 2026. So let's just say that you've calculated all this out and you know exactly what it is that you need. Well, then we need to factor what is that gap. If you're collecting Social Security and your need is $5,000 a month net, and you're getting $3,000 a month in Social Security, what's the most tax favorable way to get that gap income from your investments, from your assets, to be able to fill that gap, and how long is it going to last? That's what we're calculating. And
Okay.
having that total income need and those after-tax dollars, that's the only thing that matters. Folks, we do have some quizzes. We're going to give you an opportunity to enjoy some of these quizzes. The first one I'd like you to take a look at is Powerful Tax Bill. PowerfulTaxBill.com. You can click on that QR code at the bottom of the screen also if you'd like to jump on and do this. It is going to give you a snapshot of what your taxes should be and what they could be. And it'll also give you a full report on what you can do to get to that lower number to be able to tax harvest and be tax favorable in those distributions using a lot of times Roth conversions. And folks, right now we're in the 3rd lowest tax bracket in history. Why would you not take advantage of that? But I do want to caution you. Only do your Roth conversions in the month of December. please.
Mm.
So if we're sitting in the spring and someone tries to tell you to do Roth, don't do that. You need a full snapshot of the year's income to make sure that you don't catapult yourself to another tax bracket by doing those Roth conversions early.
Kristina, thank you so much. I know that you have a very special offer to our viewers at home today. Talk about what that is, please, before we take our commercial break.
We do. I know we keep saying the word tax, tax, tax. Jump on there, get that powerfultaxbill.com. Also, we talk a lot about taxes in the book, The Retirement Train. We would love to give this to you. If you would love to come by our Lexington or Louisville firm and pick one up, you're welcome to it. You don't have to see us, no appointment necessary. Or if you'd like to call the number on the screen, 877-893-5099, we would love to mail you a copy. It's on us. Let us bless you with this information I know you're seeking. If you're concerned about those taxes, want to know what is my bill going to possibly be, again, jump on powerfultaxbill.com.
Kristina, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, the number to call, 877-893-5099, 877-893-5099. Once again, that tax bill that you want to visit is powerfultaxbill.com. It's a quiz, powerfultaxbill.com. Click the QR code that you see at the bottom corner of your screen. Put in a little information about yourself. We think you'll be surprised with what you find out. Once again, powerfultaxbill.com. To receive a copy of Kristina's book, again, visit one of the locations, Lexington or Louisville. They will gladly give you a copy, no obligation. We'll be right back momentarily on Your Powerful Legacy TV. We're talking all about how do you begin your very own retirement plan. Stay tuned.
Property and casualty insurance is how I really got started. I was supposed to go to law school and be an attorney, and I'm so glad I did not take that road. But when I think about what is it that really led me to honing in on this craft of retirement planning, my grandparents had a major loss back in 2008. I watched what happened with the market and how it affected their retirement plan, and they were not able to retire how and when they wanted to. It automatically just pushed me in a natural direction of trying to protect people in a whole other way. It's been something that I've been working on for several years. Anyone who is starting their own business has to be about halfway crazy because it is such a huge risk. You risk everything. And I went from having steady W-2 pay and benefits to now everything is on my shoulders and my sons pay because they were both with me opening the business and licensed agents as well. But having my boys alongside with me, that is the most amazing because our relationship is just tighter than ever. And I knew I wanted legacy to be inside of my business name because I want to leave that ultimate legacy.
Welcome back to Your Powerful Legacy TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Kristina Ping. She is CEO of Powerful Legacy Insurance and Financial Services. We're talking all about how you get started on your very own retirement plan. We know you have a lot of questions about that, so today's show is just for you if you're just wondering about how to get started. Kristina, when I mentioned the word wondering, I know a lot of people in the viewing audience are probably wondering if they should follow certain rules of thumb when it comes to market plan or to marketing, if you will, market risk and planning. 4% rule is what I ask you about. What exactly is the 4% rule? Is it still applicable today, or is it something that kind of goes by the wayside at this point?
I think it can be applied, but it needs to be modified to today. Anything needs to be modified to fit an individual. And folks, I want to give you a couple of rules of thumb here. The rule of 25, so we say if you take your desired annual spending and multiply it by 25 to 30, that's going to give you the nest egg that you need to use the 4% rule. So for example, multiply it by 25, you need $60,000 a year, that's $1.5 million. Well, then the 4% rule is going to be $60,000 a year. Well, let's just say that something happens and that 1.5 million account goes down to 1 million. That drops your spending 4% down to $40,000 a year. Can you take a $20,000 pay cut? And all of that is before taxes if you've saved that pre-tax money. So knowing that the math is not going to lie to you, we need to really truly calculate what is it that you need? Is it going to last? Does it calculate in inflation and taxes and the volatility of the market, all these things combined to make sure that you're going to have that income that you truly need in retirement?
Thank you, Kristina, for shedding some light on that. So many people are confused about the 4% rule. Getting back to when you're first starting out your retirement plan, how important is it to choose the proper retirement accounts? I know some people have some choices there. How do you decide?
Yes, these days what we're seeing is people are going in and saying, I want to participate in my group plan. So it's a 401k or Roth 401k.
Mm.
A lot of times you go into the HR and they give you a list of investments to pick from and you pick from it. And then you talk to your buddies at work and you all shift your things around accordingly. Maybe they have someone that you can call, 1-800, I might help you. And it's just one of those things where you have to take a step back and say, am I doing what's best for me? Am I saving enough? What is that percentage? And knowing from the beginning what it is that you need to have a target for, how do you reach a target if you don't know what it is?
Exactly.
And so just in the beginning, I want to encourage you folks to just do 2%. If you're in your 20s, do 2%. I know it feels like a lot of money. It really does. And I promise you that a little bit means a lot in the beginning. The next year, do 2.5%. The next year, do 3%. So just go up 0.5% every year that you're working. I promise you won't miss it when it's automatically coming out of your paycheck. Save first. Pay yourself first. If it means you can't afford as great of an apartment or whatever else it is, then you can't. You need to be paying your future self because that future will come.
Most definitely. Great advice, Kristina, especially for our younger people in the viewing audience today. What about having a proper risk strategy? Let's talk a little bit about that investment strategy, if you will, because so often people are unsure how much risk they should even be taking. How do you help balance where they should be exactly?
There are different types of risk. And when we're talking about market risk, we're normally talking about stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs. When we're talking about inflation risk, we're normally talking about checking, savings, CDs, money market, because they don't normally keep pace with inflation historically.
Okay.
And when we're talking about the risk of time, we're talking about annuity. So having them in the right bucket for the right reasons is what we're looking to accomplish to give you the true holistic plan that you deserve and the income that you're seeking. Now, I want to give you guys a little bit of an opportunity to assess your own risk. We have a risk quiz here, and it is called powerfullegacyrriskquiz.com. You can click on the QR code there on the screen or powerfullegacyrriskquiz.com. Jump in there and take a look at what your risk tolerance is. We just talked about those words in the first part of the show. And are you really conservative, moderate? Are you growth or aggressive? Do you know what it is that you need to be in to make sure that you will be hitting the retirement target that you want? We see a lot of these target date funds that are available inside of the group plans, and it might be, for example, a target date 2035. That just simply means that most of the time, not always, but most of the time, the closer you get to that target, the more conservative the investment becomes. That's not always the case, and that's not the way that they're always managed, and sometimes they're very expensive funds. So knowing how those really work, all the nuts and bolts inside of them, that's going to be really important. But jump on there and take a look, powerfullegacyrriskquiz.com.
That's fantastic. Powerful Legacy Risk Quiz. I can't even say it.
Quiz.
riskquiz.com. What an easy way to understand exactly what your risk tolerance would be. And again, we're going to leave the QR code up there for a few moments. You can grab your smartphone and click on it. We think you'll be very amazed by what the results will be. Kristina, moving on to the next one, how to build your own retirement plan, if you will. How important is it to plan for health care and insurance when you're just beginning the basics of a plan?
Well, if you're not planning for healthcare and insurance, then you are not insuring your retirement future. Folks, I don't want to be a downer on this one, but this is the number one thing that I see that completely derails retirement plans is if we have a health emergency. Now, when you're planning on healthcare and planning on the insurance, we know that at 65, it's time for Medicare. I do have a Medicare expert, Jessica, that I can refer you over to. She's great, one of our powerful partners, and she'll talk to you about your Medicare eligibility, what plan is best for you, what is your income at the time, and is it going to affect your IRMA, income-related monthly adjusted amount, and how can we prevent your healthcare from costing too much? What strategies can we have? And sitting down, talking to a professional about that is very important. Now, long-term care insurance, if you self-fund this, the unlimited long-term care plans are not here anymore. A lot of times we're seeing an aggregate limit somewhere around $100,000 to $250,000, and that is wiped away so quickly, especially when you're in a full long-term care facility. And life insurance can also be there to help your dependents, or it can have a long-term care rider on it. And having the proper insurance in place to ensure your retirement is very important.
Most definitely, Kristina. Thank you so much. To our viewers at home, there's a number to call on your screen. 877-893-5099. What you're calling in for today is a complimentary consultation with Kristina and the team at Powerful Legacy. Let them get to know you one-on-one. What are your goals? What are your dreams? What are your hopes for retirement? If planning for retirement feels new to you, you need to know where to start. Well, this is the perfect place. Once again, 877-893-5099, or click the QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. To receive a copy of Kristina's book, The Retirement Train, you can either stop into either location at Lexington or Louisville, or if you call the number, they'd be happy to mail you a copy. Just leave your name, your address. Once again, 877-893-5099. They will mail a copy to you. We'll be right back momentarily. We're starting to talk again about how to start your own retirement plan. Stay tuned.
When markets are up, risk feels great. When they're down, it can feel terrifying. That's why having a clear view of your risk tolerance ahead of market changes may support more informed decisions. Our risk quiz is a quick, easy way to find out your current sentiment toward risk and if it aligns with your retirement goals. Most people have no idea how much risk they're actually taking until it's too late. Are you more conservative than your portfolio? Or taking on too little risk to grow your savings? The quiz walks you through a few simple steps and questions and gives you a risk score that you can compare with your current investments. This could be one of the smartest steps you take and can bring clarity and confidence to your retirement strategy. Scan the QR code to take your quiz today.
Welcome back to Your Powerful Legacy TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Kristina Ping, CEO of Powerful Legacy Insurance and Financial Services. And we're talking all about where to start if you're building a retirement plan. Thank you for being with us today. Kristina, I know this next one you're so passionate about because you love talking about tax planning, but consider taxes and your withdrawal strategy plan. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, when we're talking about taxes, we are talking about the after-tax money income. How do your taxes affect your Social Security for these higher earners? And then what about the Social Security spousal benefit? What about withdrawing from your taxes, from your accounts with taxes with required minimum distributions? And then what do you do with the money after that to keep it as tax favorable as possible? Maybe having a conversation about some municipality bonds. We want to encourage you to visit. We have a quiz right here for you, and it will show you what is your bill. Uncle Sam has a bill for you. All that pre-tax money that you've saved, here it comes, thepowerfultaxbill.com. Loves to send you that bill. We know it's coming, so make sure that we understand how it's going to function. And folks, I do want to also let you know that with Social Security and the timing of Social Security, I have so many couples that are Social Security millionaires and don't even realize it because you get the timing wrong. There are rules inside of Social Security collections. Be careful. If you collect Social Security before your full retirement age and you work, there's an excess earnings limit of $23,400. That does increase every year. So be careful and watch what those are. What about the spousal benefit? 50% of yours or 100% of theirs, whichever is most, but you both have to file for Social Security to receive that. There are all these different benefits available. Knowing the timing of Social Security and maximization of Social Security, that's so important in your retirement overall income plan.
Most definitely. And Kristina, what about the importance of having an emergency or contingency fund?
What is an emergency, right? Let's talk about that one. Is that old HVAC that's just been on the edge for 5 years, is that an emergency? No, that is maintenance.
Yes.
An emergency is something that truly comes along that is unexpected. The timing is unexpected. Could it be a maintenance situation? Sometimes. We don't normally expect our engines or transmissions to act up, but having that emergency fund in place, even in retirement, is very important. I want to give you a good round number in a couple different directions. First off, we do recommend 6 to 12 months of your expenses in retirement in an emergency savings fund. If you're just getting started, you're watching this maybe with your parents or grandparents and you're just getting started, at least 3 to 6 months of your savings for emergency, folks. Don't push yourself too much, but just pay yourself first. Then we also want to give you a good round number of $10,000. Most of the time, these emergencies can be taken care of with that specific number. If you have that set aside, you can't quite reach that 6 to 12 months, just get started. Just $10,000, set that aside, make sure it's accessible, and if you have that emergency, that you can get that money immediately.
Fabulous advice. Thank you, Kristina. Now, what about monitor, review, and adjust annually?
Yes, when your life changes, so does your plan. You've got to change it. You've got to be adaptable. And one of the things that I encourage with all of my clients is to be very proactive. We are proactive. I've never had a client call in and say, hey, did you see that this went down? Do we need to sell this? No, our managers are on top of this. We've been watching this all along, and having your risk tolerance in check, making sure that you understand what that timing is, what is going on with your health. Do we need to make those changes as the plan goes along? So even though we can have the best laid plan, we also have to be flexible, and we have to be very proactive with this.
Most definitely, Kristina. And why is it so important to work with a financial advisor when looking at building a comprehensive retirement plan? I know folks at home are probably just starting on this journey. They're watching the show for the very first time. Why is it important that they work with someone as amazing as you?
Well, I want to give you folks a little bit of just a little bit of a spoonful here. The number one reason that I hear that people don't want to work with an advisor is because you think that it's too expensive. I'm going to surprise you. What you're paying inside of your group plan, we're probably going to be less. We're not brokers. Brokers make you broke. I don't have a broker that I have to pay. So let's sit down and talk about this. How much is it really worth for your future to make sure that you have your professional on your side to take care of your overall holistic plan? Do you have your tax plan in place, your income plan, your legacy and estate plan? Is all of this in place? That should be inclusive. You're talking about money managers and brokers. That's what you're talking about that's expensive. That's not how it should be. As a matter of fact, one of our major goals is to have your plan be as inexpensive as possible. We want to make sure that you have everything you deserve. Everyone deserves information. Folks, I do want to offer, before we hit the end of the show, a copy of the book, The Retirement Train. This is such a great book. We are giving it to you. We want you to have that blessed information, that peace of mind. And please feel free to click on the QR code or call that number on the screen, 877-893-5099. Stop into the Lexington office or Louisville office. We're over off the Watterson Expressway there in the DuPont Towers next to the Norton Women and Children's Hospital in Louisville. We are next to the Glen Eagles St. Joseph East Hospital, both next to hospitals, not sure what that means, but right there in Lexington.
Yes.
Easy parking, easy access. Come in and see us. We cannot wait to meet you.
And live events. We haven't talked about that. And I know we only have
Yes.
about 56 seconds left, but live events are doing so well for you. They're
my
sold
heart.
out.
Yes, they are completely just booked
Filled.
out. We've had folks, we have filled a room over 100 people lately. Most of it's been about legacy and estate planning, because you realize in legacy and estate planning, you also must have the tax plan and financial plan.
Yes.
So let's gather it all together. Let's talk about your plan today. We would love to offer you a complimentary written plan. Let's sit down and talk about it.
Kristina, thank you so much. Again, viewers at home, just come in, sit down and talk about it. What are your goals, your dreams, and your hopes for retirement? Kristina and her team will design a plan that's going to fit your needs. This is not cookie cutter. It's individualized just for you. No obligation whatsoever. Call in today, 877-893-5099. Be safe, be happy, and be blessed. We'll see you back 1 week from today on Your Powerful Legacy TV with Kristina Payne.